Hey, it's Olga here from olgadexireva.com and Productivity for Scientists. This is where you overcome overwhelm, become more productive, get in charge of your day while feeling happy in your life. And the topic of today's video is get your literature review done. Now, what I'm going to share with you are some very concrete strategies on how to get your literature review done, as I just recently shared with one of my clients. Now, of course, there is a lot of free stuff on the internet, like really good websites that focus on the literature review. Now, today, what I want to share with you is something very concrete and doable that helped my client. And if you resonate with her situation, this will help you too. Now, if you need to just kind of start your project and read around and maybe write your first proposal or abstract or paper, you're fairly at the beginning, you're fairly scattered and not sure where to start, and it all sounds like one big thing and there are so many papers to read. Where do you even start? So there could be you've already been downloading some papers, and it could be like 60 or 80 or even 100 papers, and they're a bit scattered. You've been downloading them on different devices and different platforms, and you're wondering, where you can even start, and, you maybe try to read some of the papers, but you put them aside and you even maybe forgot what you read about, or it's very difficult for you to read the paper because it's a new topic. You're not yet maybe so skilled at reading the papers because it does come with practice, and you might be taking a long time to read each paper, and maybe then when you put it aside and go away and do other things, you forget about what you read, okay? So now what I'm going to give to you, again, that's very personal, maybe others will disagree, but it works. It works for me. It worked for many of my clients. So here we go. You possibly in your situation need to focus for the next 2 or 3 weeks on just the literature review to get it done. And what do you want to have at the end is, first of all, read some papers, possibly not the 100 papers. So what we're going to do with you first is for you to decide on the finite number of papers. So it could be 10 papers to start with. So that already sounds much more doable than 60 or 80 or 100 papers that you've got everywhere on your devices. So the 10 papers that you decide to read first, it sounds much more doable. And then you want to have a set of notes, and you want to have them really ordered and systematized so that it's very easy for you to then to start writing your literature review. So how to do this in a nutshell is that maybe you want to collect all the papers you've ever downloaded, it could be up to 100 in one space, or 50, right? In one space, in one file, in one folder. Then I want you to choose 10 papers. So it could be a couple of reviews, a couple of very high profile papers, a couple of recent papers. Or if your subject is old, then you kind of, bring it up again with new techniques, you maybe want to read a couple of crucial papers from the past. So you get clear on those 10 papers, ask your colleagues, ask your supervisor, and start with them. So it could be 1 paper a day or 2 papers a day. That pace might sound very slow, but in 2-3 weeks, you will be done with that, okay? So then the next thing you want to do is to come up with a really good question that you want to ask the papers, because this is very crucial. You don't want to necessarily read the paper to understand every sentence in it. Okay, so that could be controversial, but I'm giving you that permission. Don't necessarily understand every sentence, but ask the paper some questions. So it could be 4 questions, what methods did they use? What did they, what object they studied? What did they find? What conclusion they came up? Simply like this. So have those 4 questions and ask them each paper. It's like you're interviewing the paper, okay? Now, when you read the paper again, don't try and understand every sentence. Try and find the answers to your questions and write them down. Okay? If your subject is like very controversial, there were a lot of like papers and they were all disagreeing with each other, try to make it in a table so that you can have an overview and you can start to understand, okay, this connects to this. They probably seeing a different result because they were using different starting material or different conditions. So this table will start help you make use of it. And then when you read the student papers, have the systematized notes, you can start writing your literature review. And the easiest way to write is chronologically. So you can literally start in this year, though such and such studied this and found that. That's one sentence. Then you start next sentence. Two years later, these two papers came out by such and such and such and such, and they studied this and they found this, and so you continue. So it might sound very simple, but for some of you, it will be really a breakthrough because you're suddenly seeing, oh, this is how I'm doing it. Okay, so this is all for today. This is my strategy of how to handle your literature review. In 2-3 weeks, you will have read those papers, have systematic notes, and already starting you writing your literature review. Okay, now go for it. So this is all for today, and if you're not yet receiving my free and weekly video strategies, go to my website, olgadegtyareва.com. And if you're already there, go to the top, download your free resources, how to become more productive right now, and you will also receive this free and weekly video strategies straight into your email inbox. This is all for today. Bye.